For the last 30 days, I split my mindset in half to follow the exact strict daily routines and financial protocols of Bill Gates. When you look at a fortune this large, you might expect to find a history of extreme risk-taking, exclusive insider tech knowledge, or a life of relentless hustle. But the actual framework relies on a single paradoxical instruction. You must save like a pessimist and invest like an optimist. This is a difficult psychological balance. Most people default to being either reckless optimists who eventually go broke when the market turns, or paralyzed pessimists who never grow their capital in the first place. Mastering this cognitive dissonance, holding two completely opposing mindsets simultaneously, is the key to building an unshakable financial position. I dedicated the first 15 days of the challenge to the paranoid pessimist. The objective here is to build extreme short-term liquidity to survive any systemic shock. This paranoia dates back to the early days of Microsoft. Gates insisted on keeping a cash reserve sufficient to cover 12 months of operating expenses and payroll, even if the company suddenly generated zero revenue. This is necessary because of the math of ruin. If an investor is forced to liquidate assets during a crisis, the chain of compounding is violently broken. Without liquid cash, a temporary market downturn can permanently destroy your wealth. I applied this rule by auditing my own liquidity and building a 12-month buffer. I focused on an enough threshold, prioritizing financial security over luxury, which meant adopting Gates' habit of wearing a $10 watch. Establishing this pessimistic cash buffer creates a firewall around your long-term capital. It ensures you never become a forced seller during a market panic. On day 16, I shifted to the conviction optimist. This mindset treats your own cognitive capacity as the leading indicator of your future wealth. I implemented habit stacking to maximize intellectual acquisition, pairing physical exercise on the treadmill with complex educational lectures from the teaching company. To protect this mental energy, I followed Gates' strict boundaries: 7 hours of sleep for peak cognition, and low-intensity manual tasks like washing the dishes to let my brain decompress. I also adopted the 5-hour rule, dedicating at least 1 hour every single day to deliberate, deep work reading. This constant learning fuels a long-term conviction in the progress of human innovation. Optimizing your physical health and your mind provides the necessary clarity to make sound, multi-decade financial bets without burning out. During the final week of the challenge, I focused on translating that optimistic conviction into actual capital allocation. This chart shows the surprisingly boring composition of the Gates Foundation Trust. While Gates founded a tech giant, 65% of his foundation's $44 billion portfolio is concentrated in heavy machinery, waste management, and rail. These are moat assets, businesses with hard-to-replicate physical infrastructure. They provide steady, impenetrable dividend cash flows that isolate the portfolio from short-term market volatility while betting on the world's cumulative progress. This strategy of high-conviction concentration in durable, cash-flowing businesses shows the direct influence of Warren Buffett, who served as a foundation trustee for 15 years. Concentrated innovation can create outsized wealth, but that wealth is preserved and compounded by owning diversified, unsexy, and durable businesses. 30 days of habit stacking and budget auditing didn't mint me a billionaire, but it did shift me toward a state of unbreakability. It provided a blueprint where a sudden emergency no longer threatens my long-term future. However, the Gatesian Protocol includes one final move that complicates the entire goal of accumulation. On December 31st, 2045, the Gates Foundation will permanently close its doors. Gates has set an aggressive 20-year deadline to spend down more than $200 billion, using the balance of his endowment and all future contributions to solve urgent global health crises. He is following the historical precedent set by Andrew Carnegie, who argued in 1889 that the wealthy have a responsibility to return their resources to society. Carnegie's famous line was, "The man who dies thus rich dies disgraced." The Gatesian Protocol uses the security of a pessimistic cash buffer to purchase an optimistic future. It establishes enough financial security so you have the ultimate freedom to learn, to live, and to return everything to the world.